The sky over Belgium, 1942. A cold winter morning. The sky above Belgium was pale and thin, streaked with condensation trails. A single aircraft cut through the clouds, sleek, fast, unlike anything most Allied pilots had ever seen. It wasn't a Spitfire. It wasn't a P-51. It was German, and it was faster than almost anything else in the sky. This was the Focke-Wulf Fu-190, the Luftwaffe's newest pride. To the Allies, it was a mystery, a phantom that struck without warning and vanished before anyone could react. But on one strange day in 1942, a simple navigational mistake would change everything. A German pilot would land this secret weapon right into Allied hands, and that accident would alter the air war over Europe forever. The unknown enemy. By 1942, the Luftwaffe was still a fearsome force. Its older workhorse, the Messerschmitt Bf-109, had served faithfully since the start of the war. But the Allies were catching up. New Spitfire models and American fighters were beginning to level the skies. Germany needed something faster, tougher, and deadlier. Engineer Kurt Tank, head designer at Focke-Wulf, delivered exactly that. A radial-engined fighter with heavy firepower, incredible climb rate, and unmatched roll speed. The FW-190 was a revelation. When it first appeared in mid-1941, British pilots were stunned. It outclimbed, outturned, and outgunned nearly every plane they had. In a single word, it terrified them. But the Allies couldn't fight what they didn't understand. No pilot, no engineer, and no intelligence officer had ever laid eyes on a complete FW-190 until one man made a mistake. The pilot, Armin Faber. His name was Oberleutnant Armin Faber, a decorated Luftwaffe officer, experienced, confident, and highly respected. Faber served with Jagdgeschwader 2, a unit tasked with defending northern France against RAF raids. On June 23, 1942, he climbed into his FW-190A3, call sign Black 13. His mission was simple: intercept British Spitfires returning from an attack. He took off from his base near Morlaix in Brittany. The air was clear. The channel shimmered beneath the clouds. What Faber didn't know was that this flight would make him famous for all the wrong reasons. The dogfight over Devon. Above the English Channel, Spitfires from No. 312, Czech Squadron, spotted a formation of German fighters. The two groups collided in a burst of gunfire and vapor trails. Faber, flying his FW-190, shot down a Spitfire, his guns tearing through the air with brutal precision. But in the chaos of combat, he lost his bearings. Instead of turning east, toward occupied France, he turned west. He was flying straight toward Britain. The fatal mistake. At first, Faber didn't realize his error. The skies over the channel looked the same in every direction. The coastline below was familiar. Green, hilly, dotted with farms. He believed he was over France. He descended, preparing to land and refuel. Ahead, he saw an airfield, a perfect landing strip near Pembrey, Wales. To him, it looked like a friendly German-occupied base. To the men on the ground, it was the complete opposite. British airmen on watch couldn't believe what they were seeing. A German fighter approaching to land, gear down, flaps out, completely unaware. The capture at Pembrey. At 7:30 p.m., the FW-190 touched down smoothly on the British airfield. Ground crews scattered, thinking it was an attack. But Faber calmly opened his canopy, saluted, and asked, in perfect German, "Where am I?" The answer came quickly. He was in enemy territory. An RAF officer pointed a revolver at him and said, "You're in Wales, old chap." Faber froze. He had just delivered Germany's most advanced fighter, completely intact, into British hands. The shockwave in Britain. The British couldn't believe their luck. Intelligence officers swarmed the airfield, escorting the aircraft under heavy guard to Farnborough, the Royal Aircraft Establishment. It was the first FW-190 ever captured intact. Within hours, engineers began examining every inch of it: its engine, its guns, its armor, its cockpit instruments. For the first time, the Allies could see why their pilots had been dying in dogfights they couldn't explain. The secret analysis. At Farnborough, mechanics removed the cowling, revealing the FW-190's heart, a BMW 801 radial engine. Unlike the inline engines of most fighters, this radial design gave it a unique advantage: durability, power, and resistance to battle damage. The British test pilots took turns flying it. They were stunned. The controls were smooth. The roll rate was unmatched. The acceleration was brutal. Against the Spitfire MKF, the RAF's frontline fighter, the FW-190 was superior in almost every way. The message was clear. Britain needed something better, and fast. The race to catch up. The captured FW-190 triggered an emergency redesign program. British engineers and pilots worked day and night to create a new version of the Spitfire that could match it. The result was the Spitfire Mk9, a hastily modified version with a more powerful Merlin 61 engine and supercharger. When it entered service in late 1942, the balance of power in the skies began to shift back. The FW-190 had forced Britain to evolve, and that evolution saved countless Allied pilots. The reaction in Germany. When the Luftwaffe learned what had happened, the reaction was fury and disbelief. Armin Faber was interrogated for weeks. How could a skilled pilot make such a mistake? He claimed he'd been disoriented after the dogfight, confused by the coastline and cloud cover. Some believed him. Others called it negligence. But by then, the damage was done. Hitler's Air Ministry ordered immediate reviews of navigation training, a quiet acknowledgement of how costly that single mistake had been. The turning tide. The capture of the FW-190 came at a critical moment. The Battle of Britain was over, but the air war over Europe was only intensifying. With their new knowledge, the Allies improved both their tactics and technology. New aircraft, like the P-51 Mustang and Typhoon, drew lessons from the FW-190's design, its cockpit visibility, its powerful roll rate, its rugged frame. The stolen secrets of one fighter helped shape the tools that would eventually defeat it. A pilot's fate. As for Armin Faber, he survived the war. After being captured, he was sent to a POW camp in Britain, where he remained until 1945. When the war ended, he returned quietly to Germany, his name remembered not for his victories, but for the accident that changed the air war. He rarely spoke of it. But among historians and pilots, his flight became legendary. The power of chance. Sometimes, history turns not on battles or strategies, but on accidents. A single pilot, a wrong turn, a misplaced compass reading, and the entire course of technological warfare changes. The Allies had tried for months to capture a German FW-190. They couldn't shoot one down intact. They couldn't steal one, until fate simply delivered one to their doorstep. The legacy of the FW-190. Today, the FW-190 is remembered as one of the best fighters of World War II. It was tough, elegant, and deadly. A masterpiece of engineering born from desperation. But its legacy also serves as a reminder that no machine, no matter how advanced, is safe from the randomness of human error. That single landing in Wales turned Germany's greatest advantage into one of its greatest losses. Lessons of the sky. For the pilots of that era, the FW-190 was a symbol of both fear and respect. It forced engineers to innovate, tacticians to adapt, and aviators to push beyond their limits. The air war over Europe wasn't won by luck alone, but sometimes luck gave history a little nudge. The gift of the sky, a German pilot, a simple mistake, and an enemy fighter landing safely on the wrong soil. From that one moment, new designs, new strategies, and new victories were born. In war, knowledge is power. And sometimes, power arrives by accident. This was history of wars, where every battle, every decision, and every mistake leaves a mark on the story of humanity. If you enjoyed this journey through the skies of World War II, take a moment to subscribe so you never miss the next untold chapter of history. Because every war makes history, but few mistakes ever changed it quite like this one.